What's up? What's happening, everybody? I hope you all have been having a good week. Sorry again for missing last week. Things kind of got away from me. Scheduling got messed up, and now I'm here with. I've recorded my next two episodes. This next episode is with my good friend Anthony Trovato. We played together at Rollins, and now he plays independent ball. And we'll get into that and explain all that later in the podcast. Right now, I just want to remind everyone to go follow this Twitter account and the Instagram account. You can find me on Instagram at MILBTake. And you can find me on Instagram at the MILBTake. Please go there, follow along. All the updates for, when things get posted, when YouTube videos are up, anything like that. All that stuff, all the information will be found there. So I want you guys all to go follow those pages so you can follow along and be able to stay up to date on all the new stuff coming out. Also, you can find me on TikTok at MILBTake. I put out some good videos on there, some highlights from last year. The one video I have up isn't a highlight exactly, but it's a funny video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I also want to remind you guys to go find the book Reaching Home Plate, and you use the promo code QUESO to get a discount on that. I put the link in my bio to go check those out. It's a fantastic book about how to, reach your goals, strive better, and ultimately how to make the most out of opportunities. And secondly, I also want to remind you guys to go pick up the collagen that I told you by CB Supplements. They're one of the best supplements I've ever used. The promo code is BradCase, all lowercase, all one word. So yeah, go check both those out. Really hope you guys enjoy this next podcast with my good friend Anthony Trovato. Thank you, Anthony Trovato, for coming on the podcast, buddy. How have you been?
Been good, bud. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you just been slinging meat in Orlando?
Yeah, just, living the dream.
Just for reference, Anthony works for Boar's Head. So
I do.
So doing that in the off season to make some extra
meat,
money.
You come find me, I'll get you all the good meat you need.
Oh my God. Me and Anthony played together back in the day at Rollins College. We were in the same grade together, and we were roommates and housemates, and he's been one of my very good friends for a very long time. So yeah, how's training been this year, this off season so far?
It's been good. Same old thing. I would say having an idea of what to do in the off season compared to last year is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Financially speaking, which I'm sure we'll get into, I'm a little bit better, know how to use my money and spend my money correctly, making all this money playing, minor league or professional baseball.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been good just balancing that with work and, my girlfriend and I guess somewhat of a social life and stuff like that. Everything that we all go through as, ball players and what we have to do.
Yeah. It's just more interesting, especially when our lives all kind of got screwed up this year, although you were lucky enough to play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get into that later down the road. But let's go back to, where we start with everybody. Can you tell everybody what high school baseball was kind of like for Anthony Trovato?
Okay, so that's pretty interesting because, when I met you, we talked about high school. I remember, you, Isaiah, Tucci, a lot of our teammates from the North, when I talked to you about high school baseball, like the example I give is it's kind of like the Friday Night Nights version, football in Texas, that's baseball in Georgia and Florida where we are now. It was a very, at times, hostile environment, but I would say in terms of energy and how much went into every game, it was more than anything I ever experienced. And honestly, it was more cutthroat than college. I
was going to say,
a kid I played against and with got cut twice from our rival high school and was a 3-year All-American at Piedmont College.
Who the hell's that?
A 3-year All-American.
Who was it?
Brady Ballstat. Awesome dude, too. Great dude. Brady Ballstat. I honestly, too, I thought he was going to get picked up. And a lot of the guys that played with him that I knew thought the same thing. But that's what I mean. It's a very political thing, too, especially in my county. I mean, the guys that have come out of it that are still playing professionally and went on to play extremely high level, like there's a lot that goes into it.
You played against some special names, I remember.
Yeah, I played with and I played against, Seth Beer. There's another dude, what's his name? Dakota Chalmers. He's on a 40-man now for the Twins.
Shit.
Kid I played with, Kyle McCann. He was a 4th-round pick. We had a kid. Remember I told you about what was his name? Last name's Rowley, but he was the first dude to make it who deployed.
The guy with
played
the
Army.
face.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It made his
Is he still in the big
MLB
leagues?
debut. I don't think so.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that is still pretty wild. It's just a hotbed, really, isn't it?
yeah, and it was funny too because, I was always young for my grade, and I was always the smallest one, and it's that kind of like, I guess, Rudy story for me, but everyone else threw mid to upper 80s at the lowest. I hit off dudes at 16 years old sitting 90, 93, and my future PO dumbass was like, oh yeah, okay, sure. But then there's me slinging it from the side at 80 miles an hour, just trying to compete and be a ball player, and just like we did in college, giving your teammates the best opportunity to win, even at that young age. It wasn't high school baseball.
Jesus Christ,
We're just going to burn through 26 games. It's no, we're here to win every game. Every game counts. Like there's no going through the motion.
I know what you mean. My high school definitely was competitive on that level too, of like we wanted to win every goddamn game we were in. But dude, I don't think we saw anyone throwing above 90 the entire year. Like I was one of the hardest throwers in my league up here in New York.
Yeah.
And I was throwing like 85, 86. Like I remember my first year at Rollins, I popped to 88 and I was like, holy shit, I throw hard now. And that's really not that hard in grand scheme of things, but it's still hilarious. I would have been like a very average player if I was in Georgia.
So I'll put it in perspective. My sophomore year, my first year on varsity, I was hitting ninth, and we're playing Johns Creek, which is one of our rival high schools. And ironically, their pitching coach has been my pitching coach since I was like 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 3 arms pitched that night, all 3 in pro ball now. One of them was a 2-way player of the year at Georgia Tech, but actually went on to be a pitcher.
Yeah.
Kid they started, lefty going to Georgia, 90-93. Next dude comes in, 90-92 from the right side. Their closer,
Dude,
who I think, he also went to Georgia. It was 93, 94. I'll never forget. I was literally standing in the box. I see 93 from the left side.
And you're just
I remember I just looked at it. I was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no fucking shot I'm touching that.
You just turn to the dugout and start laughing.
Yeah. No, the best part about it, too, is my high school coach wanted me to bunt, too, because it's pretty much all I did.
Just get your nose in there, Anthony. Just get your nose in there.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Bunt with my teeth.
Oh, my God. It's a different world down there.
It's a different world. And the cool thing, too, is my last 2 years was in Lake Point, the big perfect game.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, how much you played there.
It's funny, not a lot, because there's still only 4 fields when they first opened, not the 20 they have now. But playing there, that was 20. A special experience.
I didn't know they had 20 now.
Yeah, it's like something crazy. Like there's 20 baseball fields, something like that. But it was very, very cool. It's like, wow, this is what amateur baseball is turning into. And then I was privileged enough to coach it, several years later when we were in college. But seeing how baseball expands and the rate it's still expanding, I mean, you could attest to it. Like, there was no Rapsodo, flight scope, even in Georgia, any data-driven technology being used besides a radar gun.
Yeah.
And I look back, I was like, damn, we were in high school 6 years ago. Like, this isn't that far away, but look at where baseball's come now.
It's been a quantum leap.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much data has like driven the game and how much it's changed things. And I feel like there's just so much more access to like free information now. Yeah. Like this whole summer, I spent a lot of time watching Robbie Rollins videos, if you know him at all.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Tread Athletics, they have a ton of free videos up, and I just have them all in my save, like watch later videos, because they have like 30-minute long videos talking about Blake Snell's mechanics and why they work and how he throws hard. And there's just all this information now. When we were younger, like I feel like our freshman year of college is when I was like, oh, this is Pitching Ninja. This is kind of cool. And like, that was the first step that kind of led to many more of these, a lot more free baseball content on the internet. And I feel like it's, it helps if you're one of those guys that wants to find information and wants to find ways to get better, like the information's out there now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not, hey, go grab a towel and go rip some off the mound. If you're going to do towel drills, there's going to be something behind it and you're going to learn something. It's not, hey, let's get up over your front side. Come on.
Yeah, dude.
What does that even mean?
I have video. Yeah. I have video of like me in like my backyard with my dad, like doing towel drills and trying to understand like, oh, this looks good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it didn't hurt when I threw it, so why not?
Yeah. Exactly. That's cool. Yeah. So you came from just a hotbed of just unreal talent and skill and Georgia, you're lucky you're able to play all year round, which definitely helped. But a lot of guys talk about, playing other sports through high school. Did you play other sports in high school? I actually don't know this.
No, just play golf. I mean, it's a side hobby, right? But it was, I made the decision, me and my dad talked about it going into high school. It's like, okay, you're pretty good at golf, like not great, stud middle school team captain, it's whatever. But you have to make the decision. Are we going to do baseball or golf? And I was like, it's just baseball. It's one of those things that's just bred into us. When you realize that this is a sport you love and you love to play, that's what you're going to take it and run as far as you can. And that's what I did. I was like, no, I'm going to play baseball. Like everything we just talked about. It's a hostile environment. 15, 14, 16, 18-year-old kids aren't afraid to stab you in the back to take from you. And it's pretty fucking unreal to watch. I'm sorry, I'm allowed to curse? I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or not.
I don't put explicit on the video, but like it's fine.
But yeah, no, anyway, it's just I knew what I was getting myself into, and looking back, I'm happy I did. I still have my best friends that I played with, I talk to every day.
Yeah.
And the memories that we have, a lot of not so great memories, but still memories like I'll always cherish. And
yeah, it's still things that help shape you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So then, all right, so high school goes along, and then junior year, at the end of junior year is when people start to try to figure out where they're going to play in college. I ended up at Rollins just because I was down at Lake Point actually, and Coach Mack, the guy that recruited both of us, he just happened to be there, and I found Rollins that way. How did you come across Rollins?
So it's actually pretty funny.
I know this story too.
It's actually pretty funny. So I was looking at Georgia schools, of course, because tuition-wise, I had good grades, so I could go anywhere pretty much in Georgia for free. But, my coaches, I talked to about what I should do, they're like, Anthony, you'd be a fringe, like, low major, D1 guy fighting for a spot, or, you go probably pitch at a competitive level in Division II. I was like, okay. So me and my dad, we started looking up conferences, and his best friend, when he told us about the Sunshine State Conference, I can't remember, he said to me, he was like, yeah, there's this one school, Rollins, bro. The chicks, they got this pool there. They all just hang out there. Fucking school's awesome. I was like, all right, bet.
Dude, did we hang out there one time?
No, not once. We did swim workouts. That was it. Not once.
Swim workouts.
No, absolutely not.
Oh my God, what a wasted opportunity. Oh well.
So I went on the route. I wasn't heavily recruited. I had some schools I talked to and were interested, but I wasn't some big recruit that everyone wanted. And so we started reaching out to all these schools. We reached out to their conference. Ironically, like I've told you, I remember I sent out, a mass email to all the
just copy paste.
I'm like 98% sure I put Shogun's name on the email I sent to Tampa to Ursa. So I remember everyone responded to me except him. I was like, shit, that's not good. But, I was like, I'll get into this more, but, Rollins was the first one that emailed me back because I remember Shogun had emailed me, hey, thank you for the interest. Here's my recruiting coordinator, James McGonigal. It's like, perfect. Email Coach Mack, email me like that. Honestly, any coach I talked to was the quickest thing. And, when that summer started, I was talking to more schools, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I remember a couple schools came to see me at Centennial High School in the middle of a World Wood Bat for perfect game. They're talking, and some of them were talking to my coach because I was starting that game. And this is why I will love James McGonigal to the end. I remember I'm warming up down the left field line, and I just see this guy in sunglasses. It was like Domingo Ayala describing the perfect scout.
It's every scout ever, yeah.
Every scout ever. I just see this guy going behind the fucking fence into basically there's just woods over the fence. And he's just like this, posted up, watching me throw. I'm like, who is this? Who is this watching me throw? And watched me throw, watch my whole warm-up routine, what I did, watch me throw in the pen, and then watch me throw in the game.
Yeah.
Talked to my coach after. I didn't see any of that. And I ended up getting an email later. Or no, my coach told me after the game, hey, school Rollins College in Orlando is really interested in you. Keep checking him out. He told me that you contacted him and go from there. I'm like, okay, great. And that really stuck out in my head what Coach Mack did because you see a lot of other college coaches, recruiters, they sit around, bullshit behind the backstop until the game starts, watch, that's it. But like that was what Coach Mack did. I watched it. He was invested to see what I did. I was like, okay. Talk to Coach Mack, invites me to the camp, the August going into our senior year. And I'll be honest, I was shot. I played so much summer ball through like 60 innings in high school. I was dead. Go to the camp, throw, and
to the Rollins.
Coach Mack, went to the Rollins camp. That's where I met.
By the way, I'm definitely going to link the actual video of you playing in the you fielding ground balls. I'm definitely going to link that in there. But keep going. Sorry.
I threw well. I went on the tour. And it's funny, I was like, wow. I remember, like, I'm sure a lot of people have the same reaction. I was walking around, I was like, wow, this campus is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like,
awesome.
This is, if I get to go to school here, this is awesome. Coach Mack offers me, I told him, all right, cool. I'll let you know, because at the time, I was still talking to Davidson, and I really wanted to go to Kennesaw State.
Mm-hmm. And that was the year they made a big run, right?
Mm-hmm. And it was literally right after. So I was like, okay, like, I'll let you know. I appreciate the offer. I even asked, I was like, I don't want to leave you hanging. Like, what's the timetable? Like, how does this work? And he told me, he's like, get back to me as soon as you can. I was like, okay, awesome. Labor Day comes around. I had thrown for Kennesaw State at my high school. They had watched me throw all summer. And I was like, I went on a visit. I was like, okay, like, come on. And I'll never forget, my dad, I talked to my dad. I was like, we got to make a decision. I don't want to wait last minute. They were really good to me at Rollins. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of it. It's exhausting. That whole recruiting process is exhausting.
It sucks.
Let's do this. And ironically, I call Coach Mack. I commit on Labor Day. And 2 minutes later, I get a text message from the recruiting coordinator to Kennesaw. Hey, Anthony, we want you to come on another visit. Give you an offer. And I remember texting back. I was like, hey, sorry. You know why? Because I tweeted it. And I was like, 100% they saw that. And I remember I responded. I was like, oh, just committed to Rollins. Sorry.
Oh,
and that was the end of that.
Yeah. But shit.
I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I knew I was making the right choice school-wise. I wanted to get away from home, experience living on my own. And I haven't had a regret about it.
Yeah, dude. I was kind of in the same boat as you. I wanted to get away from home. Just, I don't know why, but, Rollins ended up just working out the way it did for both of us. But it did, and ended up down there. And I'm thankful for it. But to go back on something you said earlier, Coach Mack, that's one of the things that drew me there too. And I'm definitely going to clip this part as a little ode to Coach Mack. Because that dude worked his ass off, and it got me so excited to go play for him. And, we might have not been the most successful team in the world at Rollins, but, Coach Mack, he was only there for our freshman year, but still, like, I knew every single day when he showed up, he was going to do everything he could to try to get me better, try to get you better, try to get everybody better, as long as that person was willing to put in the work too. And I absolutely love him for that, and I will always remember that guy forever. Yeah.
I mean, I still remember, Coach Mack, there's two things I still remember explicitly. One, going back to the data-driven stuff, was the first thing that ever kind of like was put in perspective about how data works was he was talking about the Astros and how they pitch and what perceived velocity is.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was getting shelled that fall, freshman year, and he was like, okay, we need to talk about what your shit looks like to the hitters. And just explaining, a fastball in is going to look different than a fastball away.
Yeah.
Slider away is going to look different than, one in the front door.
Yeah, the way they move, the way they come in, the angles, all of that stuff has an effect.
And he talked to me from a data-driven point of view, whatever the Astros were doing, stuff like that, and how it works. I was like, okay, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that helped me a lot in terms of, how I approach hitters, especially left-handed hitters for me, because I drop down and it's a little bit harder for me. How I approach certain batters at certain times in the game, stuff like that. And I was like, that was the first time I was really, impacted by data and stuff like that.
Yeah, I gotcha. This is a question I like to ask everybody, but I mostly ask the guys, like the high school drafts that I've talked to, like that I've played with, have usually had the best stories with this. But were there any times in high school that you put up like some ridiculous numbers, or like any kind of ridiculous thing happened, you were just like, this is way too much fun right now? Because you also come from a very competitive baseball, place in Georgia. Were there any times where you just went out there and you were like, oh, this is too easy for me?
Oh yeah, I mean, God, Brad, you're gonna make me open the yearbook right now. I mean, do I need to go throw my Letterman on?
What happened? What happened?
So I was coming off a shoulder impingement because, when your high school coach tells you not to go to the doctor, but your dad's smart to be like, no, you're going to the doctor. I had to sit out about a month and a half, didn't pitch. But screw it, right? So I come back, it's a region start, and
Playoffs,
I have to no. So it was like conference, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
So it's a big conference game I had to start. I threw 3 innings the game before. I threw about a week before that, something like that. I didn't throw. Next thing you know, that day I threw 130 pitches, 7 innings. I think I had 15 strikeouts and 1 walk with no earned.
There we go. That's awesome.
But that, and I guess the other one was I had a no-hitter going into the 6th on our spring break game.
Oh, no.
My coach pulls me.
No.
So one of our other guys, looking back, one of our other guys, he never threw. We wanted to get him in the game because the game didn't mean anything. And I was cruising. I was
going to say, was this
before? It was going to be a run rule anyway because we were kicking the shit out of this team.
Was this before or after the 130
2-3
pitches? This is 2-3. If he's
after. Did
you give him a hard time when he did leave you in? You did, right?
No, because I wanted to be in. Because, like I said, it was a different feel. Like, you're a shithead high school kid. You got all your buddies yelling and screaming, and everyone's being an idiot. Like, that adrenaline was so much fun looking back. And I wanted to stay in. I mean, there was no part of me that was like – and he said to my best friend, whatever happens in this game, I'm not taking Anthony out. So there's the health – of your pitching staff for you.
Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
But yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's all right. It's okay. It's just a shoulder. Yeah. Well,
it's in baseball, it's like it's the biggest cliche. It's a game of failure, but those are the moments you live for. And that's not just for me, anyone that has success in this sport, because God, you get pounded into the ground when you play the sport. You really do.
But it's
even from a coaching perspective too, watching your guys fail, like, it sucks, but these moments make up for it. At least they do to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's move forward actually into college. What were kind of some of your first impressions of when you got to Rollins? Because it's not.
Wow, these guys are fucking ginormous. That was literally my first one.
You're talking about like just our grade in general?
Getting moved in. When we got moved in during orientation, it was Carlos, Hendricks, and
Hendricks.
Skip.
I remember helping.
I had those 3 helping me, those 3 monsters.
Oh my god!
My little dumb ass, still 17 years old, going into college. I'm like, yo, who these are my teammates? These are grown men. I'm a child.
Yeah, dude, we had some big guys. I mean, especially in our grade too. It was me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was the shortest one.
Yeah.
I'm 6'1".
I was 6'7", Witt 6'7". Dan Riley was 6'6". Ramus was like 6'3".
Yeah.
Who else do we have? That's pretty much all of our. And then Isaiah, who was a shortstop, who he's supposed to be smaller.
Gatias
are both.
And then you
big
had
guys.
like Chance, Ben, and Riv. That were the little guys.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, dude, we had some big guys there. So, but yeah, we go through our first fall. I had a good time. It was fun, like getting into college baseball. I remember feeling the whole time like I was so overwhelmed that I wasn't going to be ready to be able to play. Just because I felt like, oh, I'm coming from the Northeast, like I'm coming from New York, like we're not as good as these guys. Like you're from Georgia, Whit was from Tennessee, Dan played at Salisbury. Like I was so ready to kind of be like I was so ready for like things to be overwhelmed. What was kind of your mindset? What was the way you were looking at it going into the first season?
Coming into it, I still felt like, I was undersized. I didn't throw hard enough. I think Mack took me because I filled up the zone. I had good shit, and I could come in and help the team.
Mm-hmm.
But coming in and seeing the guys, it was like, okay, I need to understand that I'm not the shit anymore. I'm not the Friday guy on my fucking high school team. Like this is a fresh slate. And it overwhelmed me at times. Like, I feel like looking back, I put too much pressure on myself to perform instead of just going out there and trusting your stuff like every pitching coach tells you. But that was probably just understanding, like, I'm not the guy anymore. I have to fight to get what I want again, which I was okay with, which is why I still understood going into college, but now it's real. Now it's here. You know, and if you don't play good or you don't pitch well or you don't add value, you're going to be worthless.
Yeah, that's when you start to, fall towards the back of the bullpen.
Yep.
And every pitcher's greatest fear of, being forgotten about.
Yep.
There was definitely some times though, I don't know how much you want to talk about this. I think part of your story can be really impactful for guys is because I feel like there was a time where the coaches they weren't putting you out there a ton. And they were kind of,
So I guess I'll just break it down. So, our freshman year, I think I had like 8 appearances, which as a freshman, I was ecstatic about, got my feet wet, pitched on JV, did all that, understood, what's going on with college baseball is like. And then, sophomore year came around. I thought I was going to have, more than I did. I ended up having like 4 appearances, something like that. And it killed me. It really did. Because like I said, I've never been put in a hole like that before, but talk to my dad and everything, it's like, okay, now I have to figure this out. I have to give them a reason to want to pitch me. And I remember going to our junior year, I played summer ball. It was okay. Didn't pitch well. I'm trying to get over this shit, trying to figure out what made me good again, what made me do well on the mound. Going into our junior year, okay, fall. And I remember we had arms. Like, we had arms. And I was like,
our junior year was good.
We had arms. I was like, okay, well, I gotta figure something out. Like,
our junior year, let's see, we had the guys that just got drafted to go play professional baseball. We had me, Cam, Garrett, Witt,
Auerbach,
who got signed as a free agent. Jakes, who could have, he had so much more in the tank. Yeah. I feel so bad for him. And then you, right?
And Scafidi, Sexton.
Yeah. Like, we had just all of these. We had an absolute arsenal. Yeah. And as we both know, which I don't even want to get into, that year did not go the way anyone wanted it to go. But you still, you found a way to be competitive again. Yeah,
it was. So I remember I didn't throw. When was my first appearance back? I remember I didn't throw like
2018
month of this season.
Let me pull it up. All
I did was pitch on JV.
Yeah, your first game was March 7th, which is is just about a month into the season.
I mean, I remember I threw 14 shutout innings on JV before that. Yeah. Did give up a run? Mm-hmm. Or no, I gave up 1 to St. John's River, I think, and that was my last time.
Which is you're allowed to give up a run to St. John's River because that team is disgusting.
Yeah. And I don't even think it was an earned, like, it should have been an earned run. There was something like that, but it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now they're starting to take a shot on me. Now I have to produce or I'm going to get fucking buried. Mm-hmm. They gave me a shot. I didn't produce last time. This is it, Anthony. And, through that shitstorm of a season we had, selfishly for me, I threw well. Every time I went out, I pitched the best I could. Yeah. That last game at Embry-Riddle where I went 5 strong, like, that was kind of just closing the door for me on my case. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was that 2 years was a very, very big roller coaster for me between school and baseball and what I was trying to do, because after that, that was when I started to realize, okay, I've shown it took a little longer than I liked, but I showed that I could pitch at this level. I can do this.
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of guys, they get discouraged very quickly. Maybe they don't like the coach, or they're used to having everything thrown their way and it just doesn't. And that's where you see guys fade out and, you know what, this isn't for me. I just want to be in college and not play baseball, not worry about it. But, I made a decision. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm here for a reason. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right. And like I said, I don't think I figured out in the time I wanted to, but eventually I did by the end of our junior year. Like, I wish that season could have went better. We had a lot of things go wrong, which would never happen anywhere else in a million years.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. I think that, yeah, our junior year did not go the way anyone wanted it to go. And I wasn't even there for senior year. And part of me, obviously, I was enjoying going and being at spring training and playing in Greensboro and doing those things. But there's a huge part of me that I was pissed I wasn't there with you guys.
Yeah, of course.
There's the picture of our whole class at home plate, and I saw that. I think I saw that right before a game. Yeah, I was pitching that day, and I see when you guys tweet that out or post it somewhere, and I was just like, motherfucker. Yeah. I was don't get me wrong, I'm so happy the Pirates drafted me, so happy I took that chance. But a huge part of me was oh my God, I'm missing out on that with my friends, and it hurt.
Yeah.
But you guys, you guys did a little bit better the next year, and you got to pitch a ton. Oh my God. You were out there every other day.
I think me and Witt had the most appearances.
This website does not have appearances because it's Rollins, and they're wonderful, and they don't know how to record baseball stats. I'm 26 innings, but each outing is an inning or two at the most.
Yeah,
because you're a reliever, and that's what you're supposed to do. What it was going from a guy who you really had to fight for playing time, getting on the field, to being to being one of the main guys out of the bullpen. You were named captain too, right?
So bring it down like this too. So after that junior year, I went to the Valley. Very competitive summer league.
Yeah.
Same shit. I was on a temp contract. Had to pitch good. Good. Got to stay, and pitched pretty well. Had a great experience with the coaches, everything like that. And that was, like I said, it was. The more I realized I could do this and pitch against these guys at SEC, ACC schools that are going to go on to play pro ball, and even the guys from our conference and stuff like that, I was starting to realize more and more, I was okay, I can do this. I could keep playing no matter how long it is after, if it's for a day or something. I could just take that step and walk through that door somewhat.
Exactly.
So we get there, we get back to school. We get guys like Dutch, Jimmy, Gabe, Cody, all these guys coming in from very high level.
We just became transfer
ready to come in and produce and help. Yeah. We're all great guys. All great ball players.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay, same shit. I got to show with these guys now I could still play at this level, because in the back of my mind, at every team I've been, I've always had the back of my mind, this could just be taken from you. It really can. In a heartvote.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
So I pitch well throughout the fall. We have our vote at the end of the season, or at the end of the fall season, for captains. Fortunately, I get voted as one, and it was me, Cam Brundage, and Jack Gonzalez. So we're going into that next year, and I was okay, senior year, this could be my last year of baseball. I don't know. Anything about me going on and playing professionally, I kept to myself, except for realistically, you, Witt, I think Garrett, I talked to a little bit about it. I always kept it to myself. I didn't, like I said, I was never that guy. It was oh yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. I had in the back of my mind what I wanted to do, and I just kept it to me. Year starts. I come out of the gate, I'm pitching great. I really, I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I remember I threw opening night, pitched great behind Cam. I was yeah, okay, this is I'm gonna tear it up this year. It's gonna be great. I get to, where are we? We're about to go to Columbus State, and the Red Sox reach out to me, and that was whoa.
It's cool. It's cool the first time a team reaches out, and you're oh
yeah,
shit.
It was the coolest thing. I was wow, maybe I'm not dog shit. It's pretty cool.
Maybe I don't stink at this game.
There was the negative that came out of it that I didn't handle right. It became, for me, for about those next 3 weeks, I pitched like shit. It became, oh God, I got to pitch great now. I have to be immaculate. And that was the biggest mistake I made.
That's something I definitely felt as I went through my junior year, because I felt a lot of pressure of all right, I really want to get drafted this year. And it's just all the pressure, allowing it to just build and build and build on top of you, did not help me at all.
Mm-hmm. Because it was it wasn't the 20 scouts behind us every game that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
That never bothered me. But the moment one took interest, it was oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
So I had that hiccup I remember I didn't throw one weekend. I think it was against Echo. I just didn't throw. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I need this. I need to throw against live hitters. I need to flush this shit out. You do. I throw against Nova. I throw good. I was like, all right, I'm good. And it turned into, I had a couple, like any other reliever, I had a couple outings here and there, crooked number here and there, but like, essentially, like I threw well my senior year. I will say that. I really did. I thought I helped our team.
So you threw a shit ton.
Couple things here and there, like every other pitcher, like didn't go my way, but it is what it is. Finished the year, we're right about 500. I didn't really hear anything else from any other teams. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get drafted. I knew the battle. I'm not going to get drafted. That's fine, whatever. But I just want to keep playing. I don't want to get a real job. I don't want to say I love this game. I want to keep playing.
You knew you had more baseball in you.
Yeah, I was like, I want to keep playing. What do I do? So draft comes around. I get drafted. Everyone, we had our 4 guys go, and that was incredible from a Division II school. It was an unbelievable experience to share with them. And like, okay, there's me. It's like, what do I do? I threw for another MLB team. No, front office, It's like, all right, whatever. Talk to another team, okay. And then actually, who was it? I think it was the Royals I talked to, and they were like, realistically, you could get stuck at this point in June. It was like 2 weeks after the draft. We're going to take you, hypothetically, you're going to get stuck on one of our 2 AZL teams fighting for an inning. If you pitch like shit, we're just going to cut you. I mean, it's the reality of it. You're a senior sign.
Yeah.
You're a senior sign. Like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, Indieball. And then, I'll probably get more into this too. A lot of my teammates, we all had that. Yeah, we all had that kind of thought, like, fuck that. I'm not going to play Indieball. Like, what the fuck? Then you realize how good these guys actually are.
Yeah, there's some serious talent out there.
And you're like, oh, shit. So it's like, okay.
Can you do me one favor? Can you just, in your words, explain what Indieball is? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are listening that have no idea what Indieball is and don't understand it exactly.
So independent professional baseball it's just not MLB affiliated, which actually is changing now because the bigger leagues, the American, the Atlantic, and the Frontier are starting to partner with MLB. And like the rumors have been like they're going to start feeding into these MLB teams, which would make sense because they're filled with XAA, AAA guys, SEC, ACC guys. It's I don't really know where it's going to go, but who knows?
Yeah.
Because I guess one of the theories behind it too is, if you cut out these farm teams, but then you have these already funded, making their own money sort of thing. But hey, you're linked to us now. Yeah. That kind of works a little smoother.
It's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
But anyway, so Indieball, there's leagues all over the country. Some are better than others. But I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I signed into the USPBL.
Yes. Up in Detroit.
8 Mile. 8 Mile.
You grew up with Eminem.
Actually, it was 23 Mile.
A little down the road.
Yeah. I signed. I was like, and it was funny too because like, I was still in Orlando because I thrown at TLA and Utah got in touch with my manager at the time. I was like, hey, you're going to be here in 2 days or we're not going to take you. I'm like, ooh, okay, sure. With Michigan in 2 days.
Jump in the Jeep Compass and get your ass up there.
Yeah, I was dipped. But, it was a cool feeling. And I still have the picture signing a paper saying, hey, I play professional baseball now.
Yeah, you're going to get paid.
I will say this, that people that do not understand it, yes, there's affiliate in the minor leagues and all that, but these guys that I played with, these are fucking ball players. Like, like these are professional baseball players. Yes, it's not under, an MLB team, stuff like that, but these guys are still playing, getting a paycheck to play. And I guess they would say, like, I heard, the level I played at in the USPBL is the equivalent of like low A, high, or, Ricky advanced.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of fresh college guys and young guys because there's an age limit in the league. But then as you get to the other leagues, everything kind of Atlantic's the equivalent of AAA, American, AA, Frontier, AAA. That's why when you see these guys, they get pulled out of there and re-signed to MLB organizations. They don't go to low A, they go to AAA.
Exactly. So in essence, to kind of sum this up, just because you're in independent baseball does not mean it's significantly worse than minor league baseball. You're still it's just a different structure of how you ascend and how you progress up.
My manager said to me my first week there, he goes, Anthony, because you look at the names of the schools, you have no idea where or who half these schools are, where these guys are coming from. But then you watch them play and they're hitting 500-foot bombs with wood and throwing 94.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of guys that get overlooked.
I not to change the topic a little bit, but I think that is one of the cool things about baseball is that like you can go to a JUCO or a D3 or a nowhere school and be better than a kid that's playing at, a kid that's riding the bench at Florida State.
Yeah.
Like it obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a difference. There's going to be a reason as to how you ended up in those places, but ultimately like you can have more talent and be better than any of those people. Just because they're at a big D1 school doesn't mean that they're significantly better than you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like it's just, I'm trying to think of teammates specifically, but yeah, I mean, I'll say it like this too. So, like I said, me and my roommates talked about it when I was up in Michigan. We all had that in the background, like, I'm not gonna play Indieball. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I guess. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see what it's about. And I was like, God, I was proven wrong. Because like I said, everyone's getting paid. When I watched the first guy get released, I was like, holy shit, this is real.
It
wasn't a heartfelt, like, well, bye. No, came in, yo, he's gone. Make sure you say goodbye. See you tomorrow. That was it. I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck? I was like, oh no, it's like, no, this is real. This isn't bullshit here. I'm sorry.
You got to, I mean, you see it in season and it happens like that. Like,
yeah,
in spring training, in my first spring training, like we kind of, like some guys talked like, hey, I think guys are getting released today. And like, as you walk into the locker room, you see guys get handed papers and you're like, oh my God, I just watched him die. You're like, I just watched that kid freaking die. It sucks. That's probably the worst part about baseball is that, it's the classic line from Moneyball. Like every, whether you're 18 or 40, like we all get told we can't play baseball anymore one day.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I mean, and it's sad to see like, God, like even this year, during this messed up COVID season, we had like.
You're so lucky you got to play, dude. You're so goddamn lucky, dude. I'm dying right now.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was when it became real. It's like, okay, no, this is my job now. This is between that and slinging meat. Like this is my job now.
Exactly. It's fun, man. It's a fun job to have.
Too. Yeah. It's like, okay, this is really a big part of my life now. I don't have to worry about, crushing a test after practice. No, I get to go home and relax.
Dude, it's nice. It's so nice. You like go like
it's nice.
Do that all day and then you just go to bed, play the show, and you wake up the next day and you eat and then you go to the field and you just do it again. It's great.
That's it.
Miss a lot. So what's the next move for you? What league are you trying to get into next? Or what's your plan on how to get into affiliate ball?
So I guess honestly the social media route now is what we're going to start doing again, or what I'm going to start doing again, pitching and just stuff like that when I start throwing again and all that. But, now I have 2 years of tenure in professional baseball, that I could use. I didn't pitch like shit. Like I had 2 very good years. And just, I understand too, I'm unique. Not many guys throw like I do, and using that to my advantage to try to sign somewhere. And God willing, and hopefully it works out, even if it's to a higher independent league, a little more credentials and stuff like that. I'll take the opportunity. Because like I said, I don't think I'm at the point yet where my career is, in an absolute downfall. Shit happens. Yeah. But I think this is like every other bump in the road, trying to get to the next level.
Yeah, dude, you shoved this year. You had a 1.59 ERA. You did awesome. Exactly. You had 10 strikeouts in 5 2/3. Like, I'm not worried for you at all.
Oh, no, that's wrong. They missed an inning. 13 and 6.1.
13 and 6.1. My bad. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Exactly. Like, I'm not someone. I feel like you got to send that number to someone, and they're like, all right, well, he clearly knows what he's doing. So,
yeah. No, I so this is the downtime, like, just trying to work and make money and all that. But when I start ramping stuff up with the new year, trying to figure that out and see what my next move is. Yep.
Well, there's plenty of leagues up here in New York, and I'm sure if you needed a host family, I'm sure my parents would love to do that.
Yeah, the men's league.
The Rockland Boulders.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're up there.
Yeah, dude, fucking come try out and live in my corner that I live in.
It's funny. Utah told me this was actually very true with the fun fact about independent tryouts.
Don't you have to pay?
Yeah, you pay for certain. Yes and no. Yes and no. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. The ones you do pay, there's a 99.9% chance you will not make that team, apparently. From what I heard. Apparently, I've heard stories that you literally go through 100 and the team's already set. What?
That's all right. I don't know. All right. I don't know anything about that stuff. I just know that the Rock and Boulders is like somewhat close to my house, and if you ever wanted to play for them and needed a place to live,
that'd be sick.
My parents would love to have you.
Hanging out with Tim all day.
Who, my dad or my brother?
Yeah, I guess both.
Yeah. God. So yeah, this is kind of how I see. This is what I was talking about too. We end up talking for way longer than we expect we're going to talk for.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. But these are kind of some of the last questions that I like to ask. Most importantly, I actually wanted to ask you about something that I don't get to ask many people about. What did it kind of mean to become, to be named a captain for our college team and to be, the guy, to be the leader, to be the one that everyone's looking to? What'd that kind of feel? Because from freshman year, like, it was kind of apparent that you were that guy with us. You were you were the kid that was a leader.
I appreciate that. But it was kind of like what I explained earlier. It was a moment when it got named because I got named, I guess, the best teammate too.
Yeah.
And it made up for all the bullshit I dealt with the 3 years before with me personally, knowing that my teammates were there for me just like I thought I was to that moment to them.
Mm.
It just felt good, and it didn't change how I acted. I still did everything. Nothing changed, but knowing that it was acknowledged by everyone, it was just a great feeling to have. It really was. It really was. Because I remember when we watched Matt Hendricks give that speech at that first pitch dinner of freshman year, I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? That's going to be me. Fuck, maybe if I only throw 2 innings from then to now, that's going to be me. I'm going to do something right, set the example right of what kind of how you should be on the baseball field. Let's keep that perfectly straight. On the baseball field.
Because every bad memory, not bad memory, every funny memory just started playing through my head.
It's an absolute disaster when we're out and about. On the baseball field, though, and honestly, just in life, if you need something, you need help with something, shit like that. But
I knew that you were the guy that people could count on. I knew I could always count on you.
Yeah, but that's just, it wasn't a forced thing. That's just how I was. I was the same way in high school too, and it was just cool how I was acknowledged in college. And like I said, just to have that feeling, just your teammates recognizing you for it. It was a memory I'll never forget. It really was.
This might honestly be just more advice for me, because there has been so many times, like when I was in high school, I wanted to be that guy, but I was never the guy to step up and like try to make a speech or something. That just wasn't me. And then in college, I wanted to be that too, and I still never tried to do that and take the opportunity. What advice would you give someone who's like trying to make that leap, trying to like step into that role? What would you tell them?
Don't force it. That's the big thing. I mean, it's like I said,
I didn't try it then.
It's just not something you could do, because when you do shit like that and you force that, almost try to force that leadership onto someone, they could almost see it as assertive.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to talk like a fucking life coach.
But no, I mean
sports. No. But in sports, that I always think, the cliches people say, there's so much fucking truth to them. That's why people say like lead by example.
There's a
there's a reason why people say if you're going to be a scumbag, no one's going to want to follow you.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a little bit of a dick. You could be, yourself. That's fine. But if you're there to help people, you're there to do things right. You're there to try to set the example by what you're doing. That's the best you could do. And then as long as you're trying your best, you're not trying to, mess with anyone or mess up their day. That's all. In the end, that's all you can do. You have to be yourself. In the end, you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
There's no way around it, because when we start forcing things or try to be different, people notice. People aren't dumb for the most part. But yeah, honestly, I guess just taking that extra step, like I guess for younger athletes, trying to not be, not a personal relationship, but being able to talk with your coach, not him looking at you like you're a moron or, he's a guy you really shit on. Like him being able to come with you with important stuff, because my whole last year, you know, I was almost a liaison. It was
Yeah, you're the mediator. Yeah.
It was me, and then it was the rest of the captains too, on top of everything, because I was the one that was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, for sure.
It's being able to, I think, being able to develop that trust with people is a big thing. People don't trust you. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to hear what you have to say. I would say it's about it. You know, being a good person is half the battle. And, you know, in baseball, you have to be a good teammate. That's it. Me and you've played with guys. Weren't good teammates. Look where it got them.
Yeah.
None of their teammates talk to them. No one gives a shit what they do. I could care less, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
You know, I still talk to, you know, a handful of guys, a lot of guys, even guys that we played with 3-4 years ago. Like, I'll still keep in touch with them at some point. Like, you know, just little shit like that. For
sure. That's awesome, dude. That was fantastic. I think this is a little side piece. My little brother Timmy, the 11-year-old, I've heard from my parents, and they've been told by coaches that Timmy will like get up in the hockey locker room and like give them a speech and like try to fire kids up.
And that's awesome.
I don't know if it
when you're 11, how old is he?
He's 11. He's 11.
Okay, when you're 11 years old, every 11-year-old sitting on that bench could be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Like, what? But if that's
most of the time, I don't know what he's talking about.
That's him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But seriously,
it works.
That's him, though. That's great. That's great.
Fantastic.
Because that's only gonna, you know.
Yeah, dude, I love that he tries to do it. But no. So, all right, this has been super long. My bad for keeping it this long. But the last question I ask everybody is, if you can go back in time, talk to 16-year-old Anthony Trovato, what advice would you give him going forward so that he can, you know, make the most out of things?
You know what I tell 16-year-old me? Number one, break up with your fucking girlfriend. Oh, no, I guess that'd be 17-year-old me. Break up with your fucking girlfriend. That'd be the first thing. Trust your dad no matter what. He's steered me through everything, my dad. I could only, and my mother too, but for baseball aspect too.
Yeah.
You know, trust your dad through everything. He's always he will always have your back. Now, not just baseball, all life.
Yeah.
And don't trust anyone but your teammates, honestly. I go, you need to have that relationship with your coaches where you could, I guess, trust each other. How do I word this? Basically, your teammates don't hold the power over you, and understand the relationship that you have with your coaches. Don't get too involved with them where you're going to get fucking crushed. And this was what I had to learn through high school, college, and pro ball. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, you know, your teammates are always going to be there for you. They're always going to have your back, but understand that, you know, the people above you, and I guess this works for jobs too in life, the people above you, they control your fate.
Gotcha.
And you need to understand that going forward. And I guess I would tell myself too, you know, just don't be intimidated. If you get recruited, if you're a high school athlete, it doesn't matter if you're a top recruit or some kid going to a D3 or an NAI you may not have heard of, because there's like we've talked about, there's good baseball players everywhere and good teams everywhere. That would gladly have kicked the shit out of our best team at Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And just understand that if you get recruited to go somewhere, you're there for a reason. I mean, at least from my perspective, like, I don't care.
Go in there with the confidence that you're supposed to be in that room.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one will. And you're gonna get crushed, and you're gonna get buried, and you're gonna look, and it's been 4 years and you've been on the bench, or it's gonna be 2 years and you're gonna transfer. And the issue with that is the grass ain't always greener on the other side.
Yeah. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, but I appreciate
where can everyone find you on social media?
Oh, I might get some followers.
Let's get you all of like 3.5 followers. Where can people find you?
What do you Venmo me? Let me see. What's my Instagram handle? Follow me at Trovato. Wait, where is it? Trovato 44. So ATROVATO, because no one spells it right. 44, and then Anthony _Trovato for Twitter. I won't add Snapchat because then my girlfriend will yell at me.
I was gonna say, please don't put your Snapchat in. Thanks again for coming on, buddy.
Thanks, bud, for having me. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks again, guys, for listening to that episode of the Minor League Take. I I really appreciate all the support and all the love you guys have been giving me. Please remember to leave a review on iTunes or Spotify or like the YouTube video, wherever you guys are watching this or listening to it from. Next week is the biggest guest I've ever had on this show. He is one of the coolest guys I've ever been able to talk to. And I don't even want to tell you guys right now because I'm just that excited. It's going to be that big of a reveal. So please stay tuned. Next Monday, I'll be coming out with the new episode with the biggest guest I've ever had on this show. And hopefully that him being on here really can help blow this thing up even more. I can't thank you guys all enough for listening every week. It's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. And I'm excited to keep on doing this going forward. You guys have made it a great time. And seriously, please reach out. Please tell me what you guys think and, what specifics you guys want to hear. I've had a couple people reach out to me that really like certain questions. They don't like other ones. And I really appreciate the feedback. So please reach out and tell me. So until next week, have a good one, guys.